The small spaceship glided silently through the endless darkness of space. Its engines hummed quietly, a low, constant sound that reminded the crew of the smallness of their lives compared to the vast universe around them. The ship was called Endeavor, and it carried a small team of humans and aliens who had been chosen to explore a distant star system far beyond known charts. Among the humans, there was Alex Carter, a historian who studied the origins of human civilization, and Lisa Morrow, an engineer who could make almost anything work with just a few tools. Alex stood at the viewing window, his hands pressed lightly against the glass. The stars stretched endlessly before him, a sea of tiny lights that blinked like distant fires. He loved space for its silence, its calmness, and the way it made a person feel small but alive. Yet today, something in this quiet emptiness made him uneasy. He could not say why. Perhaps it was the way the planet below looked so old, its surface scarred with deep cracks and jagged cliffs. Perhaps it was the feeling that history itself was waiting here, buried beneath the dust and rocks. Lisa came up beside him, her eyes scanning the data on a small tablet. "We're approaching the first moon," she said. Her voice was calm but carried a note of excitement. "The scans show strange readings, nothing like the usual rock formations. Some of it looks artificial." Alex turned to look at her. "Artificial, you mean structures?" he asked. "Yes," Lisa replied. "Not just buildings, large walls, corridors, and energy traces. They are very old, but something about them seems precise. Too precise to be natural." Alex felt a shiver run down his spine. "Could it be a recent colony?" Lisa shook her head. "The energy signatures don't match anything we have now. They are different, like they belong to an older technology, something we do not understand yet." The aliens aboard the ship, part of the Velari Union, had gathered nearby. Their skin shimmered faintly in the dim light, and their eyes reflected a calm intelligence. Kersh, the Velari historian, stepped closer. He spoke slowly in his musical voice. "Humans, I do not think your excitement is justified. The structures may be your species' own, built in the last few hundred years. Humans are clever, yes, but history shows you have only been traveling beyond your system for a short time." Alex felt a flicker of irritation. "Kersh, with all respect, this is different. Look at the scale, look at the materials. We have no modern tools that could carve stone and metal like this." Kersh frowned, his tentacles brushing the air as he gestured. "Perhaps. But extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. I will wait for your proof before I am astonished." Lisa smiled faintly. "You will not have to wait long." The Endeavor descended slowly toward the surface of the moon. Dust rose in thin clouds, settling over strange shapes below. As the landing gear touched down, the team felt a light tremor. The surface was harder than expected, almost polished, as if it had been treated long ago. Alex took the first steps out of the ship, his boots crunching over rocks and faintly glowing dust. Lisa followed, carrying a portable scanner that hummed softly. Kersh and the other Velari watched, their curiosity growing. "Look at this," Alex said, pointing to a line of smooth stones that formed a long, straight wall. The wall was uneven in places, as if something had been removed, but the edges were sharp and the angles almost perfect. Lisa knelt down, scanning the ground. "The materials are not any known alloys. They are strong, lightweight, and resistant to corrosion. Whoever built this knew a lot about technology we have not yet rediscovered." Kersh stepped forward, studying the wall. His eyes widened slightly, though he quickly composed himself. "If this is truly ancient, it would contradict everything we know about humans. Your species is supposed to be young, recent, fragile." Alex swallowed. "I know, that's why we are here. If this is human, it changes everything." As they explored, more ruins appeared. There were tunnels leading underground, chambers with smooth floors and high ceilings, and markings etched into walls. At first, the markings looked like random scratches, but when Alex focused, he could see patterns. They were symbols, ancient symbols. Ben Hayes, the human linguist, arrived at the scene, carrying a set of digital translation tools. "Alex, these symbols," he said, voice trembling slightly, "they look like proto-human writing, older than anything in our history records, possibly millions of years old." The Velari gasped softly. Kersh covered his mouth with a hand-like appendage. "Impossible," he whispered. "Humans could not have developed writing, let alone spacefaring civilizations millions of years ago." Alex ran his fingers lightly over the wall. The etchings were smooth, deliberate. They told stories, not just letters. Stories of journeys of building cities of people reaching for the stars long before humans were known to leave their home planet. Lisa pointed to a massive structure at the far end of the ruins. "Look at that," she said. "It's a hall, a control center, or maybe a temple." The design is too complex to guess without entering. The group approached carefully. As they drew closer, the shadows deepened and a faint hum seemed to rise from the walls themselves. Alex paused. "Do you hear that?" Lisa nodded. "Energy, something is still active." Kersh's antennae twitched nervously. "Energy from something this old? This cannot be." The humans were already moving forward. Alex led the way, stepping into a long tunnel. Light from their suits reflected off smooth walls, revealing more symbols and carvings. The air felt heavy, almost like the moon itself was watching them. Inside the hall, they found a large circular platform. Strange devices protruded from the walls, some still glowing faintly with an energy the humans could barely recognize. On the far side of the hall, a large doorway led further underground, sealed with metal panels that had resisted time. Ben scanned the doorway. "This technology, I've never seen anything like it." Whoever built this, they understood energy, gravity, and materials in ways we do not. Alex stepped closer. "And yet, it's human. Every curve, every line, it has a human touch. I can feel it." Lisa frowned. "This could be dangerous. We don't know what's down there." "We should proceed carefully." Kersh remained silent for a moment, studying the walls. Then he said slowly, "If these are humans, and if they are older than we believed, then the history of the galaxy itself may be rewritten. We may have underestimated your species for all this time." The humans exchanged nervous glances. Alex felt a mixture of fear and excitement. The idea that humanity could have been here before and done incredible things was almost too big to grasp. And yet the evidence was undeniable. As night fell over the moon, the team set up their equipment. Lights glowed softly across the ruins, casting long shadows that moved like living things. The alien members of the team remained close, cautious, but unable to hide their curiosity. Alex sat on a small ledge looking over the ruins. "Imagine it," he said softly. "Humans walking here millions of years ago. Building cities, exploring the stars, leaving only traces for us to find. We thought we were the first, but maybe we are just the latest." Lisa sat beside him. "And the lucky ones," she said. "We get to uncover it. We get to understand what they left behind." Kersh observed them silently. His mind raced with questions, doubts, and a strange excitement he could not express in words. This discovery could change everything he had ever known about humans, about history, and about the galaxy itself. Deep underground, unseen by the explorers, faint lights began to pulse. Machines that had not moved in millions of years hummed softly, waiting for the right touch, the right presence. The ruins had not been entirely empty. Something had been waiting, something had remembered. The first day ended with a quiet dinner inside the Endeavor. Conversation was subdued. Everyone knew they had crossed a threshold. They had found something that challenged everything they knew about humans and their place in the universe. Alex lay awake that night, staring at the ceiling. Images of the ruins danced in his mind, the symbols, the walls, the tunnels. Questions without answers pressed on him. How could humans have built such structures? Why had their history been forgotten? And most importantly, what did this mean for the humans alive today? Outside, the stars watched silently. The galaxy seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the next step. The humans and aliens had only begun to scratch the surface of a past that refused to stay buried. And somewhere deep within the ruins, hidden from view, a faint, almost imperceptible sound continued to hum, like a heartbeat echoing across time. The next morning, the Endeavor crew returned to the ruins. The pale light of the distant sun reflected off the surface of the moon, casting long, sharp shadows that moved slowly across the jagged rocks. Alex Carter felt a sense of urgency as he looked at the structures. Yesterday had been only the beginning. Now the ruins demanded closer study, and he was determined to uncover every secret hidden beneath the ancient stone. Lisa Morrow checked her equipment for the third time, her hands moving quickly and confidently. "We have to go deeper," she said. "The readings show that there is more energy coming from underground. Something is still active." Ben Hayes, the human linguist, followed with a small device that could read patterns and symbols. "If we go further, we might finally understand what these symbols mean," he said. "They could tell us the story of the humans who built this place." Kersh, the Velari historian, hesitated at the entrance to the hall. His large eyes scanned the smooth walls, the glowing symbols, and the long tunnels that disappeared into darkness. "I am not sure this is wise," he said slowly. "If these structures are as old as you claim, we may awaken something we do not understand." Alex gave him a reassuring look. "We will be careful, but we cannot ignore this. What we find here could change everything about human history." The group moved forward into the deep hall. The walls were covered in carvings, strange shapes that looked like machines, stars, and cities. Alex traced his fingers lightly over the lines, feeling the careful precision of each mark. "This is incredible," he whispered. "It is a story written in stone." Lisa examined the floor. "These corridors are designed for humans, I think," she said. "Look at the height and the width. They match the proportions of our species. Whoever built this made it for us." Kersh frowned. "But humans were supposed to be young. Your species barely left your planet a few centuries ago. How could you have built such a place millions of years ago?" Alex shook his head. "I don't know yet, but that is why we are here to find out." The group entered a large chamber. It was shaped like a dome, with smooth walls and a ceiling that curved high above them. Strange devices were built into the walls, some glowing with faint light, some silent but clearly powered by something unknown. The room was empty of life, but the air itself seemed to hum with energy. Ben moved forward to examine a large wall covered in symbols. "This is amazing," he said. "These symbols are not random. They tell a story, a history of humans far older than we thought. It talks about building ships, traveling to other worlds, and surviving great disasters." Lisa approached one of the devices. "Some of these machines are still partially active," she said. "They are holding energy in a form I do not understand, but they were built to last, millions of years, and some still work." Kersh's eyes widened slightly. "If this is true, if humans were once an advanced species, then we have underestimated you. We thought your kind was fragile, young, and inexperienced. But this shows great knowledge and strength." Alex nodded. "We always knew humans could adapt. But we did not know our ancestors could do so much and so long ago." The team moved deeper into the tunnels. The corridors narrowed and twisted, leading to smaller chambers. Some were empty, but others held objects that looked like tools, devices, or even furniture. The designs were elegant and simple, yet precise. They were human designs, but nothing like anything in use today. Ben examined a small stone tablet. "This is a record," he said. "It talks about cities built on distant worlds, technologies for survival, and guidance given to other species. Humans were helping others even millions of years ago." Kersh's mouth opened slightly. "Guidance to other species. That cannot be. Humans are supposed to have just begun to explore space. How could you have been teachers to others?" Alex ran his hand over a smooth wall. "Maybe we were never just students," he said quietly. "Maybe humans were always capable of more than anyone realized." Lisa found a small device that lit up when she touched it. A holographic image flickered to life, showing stars, ships, and planets. The hologram moved, displaying routes and connections across the galaxy. "This is incredible," she said. "It is like a map of human influence. And it is ancient. This map shows humans traveling to worlds we have never even visited." Kersh looked at the projection with disbelief. "This changes everything," he said. "The galaxy, we thought humans were new here, but you were here before many species even existed." Alex took a deep breath. "We need to understand why we disappeared. If humans were so advanced, why did we vanish from history? What happened to make our records lost?" The team continued deeper. They came to a room filled with machines that hummed faintly. Some were broken, some still functional. Strange symbols covered every surface. As they moved closer, a panel activated, displaying a message in a language none of the team had seen before. Ben studied it closely. "This is proto-human writing," he said. "It predates any recorded history we know. It talks about survival, about leaving knowledge behind, and about patience. Humans chose to disappear, but they left messages for the future." Kersh shook his head. "I cannot believe it. Humans were supposed to be young, weak, and inexperienced. But these records, they show wisdom, patience, and great power." Alex felt a thrill of excitement. "We are standing on the evidence of our ancestors' greatness. They built, they survived, and they left a legacy for us to find." Lisa touched a glowing console. "Some of these devices are still working. They are designed to store knowledge, energy, and maybe even life support. Whoever built this wanted it to last." The team paused in awe. For a moment, no one spoke. The chamber seemed to hum around them, alive with the memory of humans long gone. Then Alex said softly, "We need to bring this back to the galaxy. The truth cannot stay hidden. Humans are older, stronger, and wiser than anyone believed. And now we can show it." Kersh nodded slowly. "Yes, but some species may not welcome this truth. Humans, underestimated by the galaxy, could change everything if your story is revealed." Lisa looked around at the machines and symbols. "We have only begun to understand. There is so much more to learn. The ruins are not just proof of the past. They are a guide, maybe even a warning." The group moved to another chamber. This one was larger, filled with holographic displays and devices that responded to their presence. The holograms showed humans interacting with alien species, teaching, helping, and building together. They were not conquerors. They were guides, protectors, and innovators. Ben studied one of the holograms. "Humans were not just surviving," he said. "They were shaping the galaxy in subtle ways, helping other species avoid disasters. They were guardians." Kersh's antennae twitched. "Guardians, humans, young, fragile humans guarding the galaxy? This is impossible." Alex smiled slightly. "The impossible is often just history we do not yet understand. We thought we were alone, but we were never alone, and maybe we were never weak." Lisa examined another console. "Some of these machines are designed to store energy, knowledge, even life. They could survive millions of years, waiting for someone to find them. Our ancestors wanted to be remembered, but only when we were ready." Kersh looked around the chamber in amazement. "I never imagined humans could be like this. Our histories are wrong. We thought humans were insignificant, but your species is remarkable." Alex nodded. "We must be careful. This knowledge is powerful. If we misuse it, it could be dangerous. But if we learn from it, we can achieve more than we ever imagined." The team spent hours studying the chamber. They documented every symbol, scanned every device, and tried to understand the holograms. Each discovery brought more questions, and yet the answers were slowly forming. Humans were not new. Humans were not weak. Humans had a history that reached across the stars, guiding and shaping life in ways no one had suspected. As the day ended, the crew returned to the surface. They were tired but exhilarated. Alex looked up at the sky, where stars glittered like diamonds on black velvet. "We have found something incredible," he said. "Something that changes how we see ourselves and how the galaxy sees us." Lisa smiled. "And this is only the beginning. There is more to explore, more to understand. These ruins have secrets we have not yet touched." Kersh nodded, still in disbelief. "The galaxy has underestimated humans for too long. This discovery, it will change everything." As night fell over the moon, the ruins seemed to settle quietly, as if satisfied that someone had finally come to remember them. The faint hum of the machines continued underground, a reminder that the past was alive, waiting to teach those willing to listen. And deep within the tunnels, more energy flickered to life. Hidden chambers stirred, symbols glowed brighter. The ruins were not finished with their story. The humans and aliens had only just begun to uncover the truth of their ancestors, and the galaxy would never be the same. The next day, the Endeavour crew returned to the ruins, filled with determination. After what they had discovered yesterday, no one could ignore the evidence any longer. Humans had once been far older, far wiser, and far stronger than anyone in the galaxy had imagined. And the Velari, who had long assumed humans were weak and inexperienced, were beginning to understand that history had been wrong. Alex Carter led the way through the tunnels, his boots echoing softly against the polished floors. Every step seemed to pull him deeper into the past. Symbols glowed faintly along the walls, their light casting dancing shadows that reminded him of long-forgotten fires. Lisa Morrow followed closely, scanning every device with her portable instruments. "The energy readings are stronger here," she said. "Whatever is down here, it is not completely dead. It is waiting." Ben Hayes, carrying his translation equipment, paused at a wall covered in strange markings. "I think these symbols, they are instructions," he said. "Not just history, not just stories. Instructions for humans to guide others. We were never just a species surviving for ourselves. Our ancestors were teachers, guardians, and innovators." Kersh, the Velari historian, shook his head slowly. "I cannot believe this. Humans were supposed to be young, fragile, recent. But these ruins, these records, they show wisdom far beyond anything I have seen. If this is true, then the galaxy has misunderstood your kind for millions of years." Alex nodded. It is true. And now it is our responsibility to understand it. We must learn from our ancestors. The group entered a large chamber that was unlike anything they had seen before. The walls curved upward into a dome, covered with carvings and symbols that glowed faintly. In the center of the room, a massive platform rose from the floor. Strange machines surrounded it, humming softly as if alive. Lisa knelt beside one of the machines, her fingers tracing its edges. "These devices are designed to last forever," she said. "Or at least millions of years. The materials, the energy systems, everything is built to survive time itself." Alex examined the platform. "Look at the scale. Whoever built this, they were thinking of generations, not just their own time. They were planning for a future far beyond their own lives." Ben scanned the wall. "The symbols here, they show humans interacting with alien species," he said. "Teaching, guiding, helping them survive disasters. Humans were leaders in ways the galaxy never remembered." Kersh's tentacles twitched nervously. "I do not understand. How could humans who were supposed to be new here guide other species? This is astonishing. Impossible." Alex smiled slightly. "Sometimes the impossible is just history we have not yet discovered." As they explored, the team discovered a series of holographic projectors. When activated, they displayed stars, planets, and ships moving across the galaxy. Ancient humans appeared in the projections, interacting with alien species, teaching them technologies, and helping them avoid disasters. Lisa gasped softly. They were helping others millions of years ago. They were not just surviving, they were shaping the galaxy. Ben nodded. "And they were careful. They did not seek power or conquest. They guided quietly, leaving knowledge behind for future generations." Kersh looked around, his eyes wide with disbelief. "I cannot believe humans were capable of this. I thought your species was small, fragile, weak, but this proves the opposite. Humans have been underestimated for far too long." Alex felt a mixture of pride and awe. "We are finally understanding the truth. Humans are not just survivors. We are builders, guides, and protectors. And now we have the chance to follow their example." The group moved deeper into the tunnels, following the energy readings that grew stronger with every step. They entered a chamber filled with strange machines, some of which seemed to respond to their presence. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing more of the galaxy and the humans who had traveled it. Lisa examined a console. "These devices, they are still working, even after millions of years," she said. "They store knowledge, energy, and maybe even life itself. Whoever built this, they wanted it to last until someone like us arrived." Ben studied a hologram of a human teaching an alien species to build ships. "Our ancestors, they were patient. They waited for the right time for humans to rise again. They left lessons for us, not weapons or power, but guidance." Kersh looked around in astonishment. "This changes everything. Humans are not just young or fragile. Humans are ancient, wise, and strong. The galaxy has underestimated your kind terribly." Alex nodded. "We must be careful with this knowledge. It is powerful, but it is also a gift, a chance to learn from the past and shape the future." As they moved through the chamber, a series of symbols on the wall began to glow more brightly. Alex stepped closer and touched them. The symbols rearranged themselves, forming patterns that resembled maps, star charts, and instructions. Lisa examined them. "These are guides not just for humans, but for anyone who follows them. They show how to survive, how to build, how to protect life. This is incredible." Ben nodded. "Our ancestors were not just humans. They were teachers, guardians, and innovators. They left a legacy that could change the galaxy if we understand it." Kersh's antennae twitched nervously. "And this knowledge, it could be dangerous in the wrong hands. Humans underestimated or overestimated, the galaxy may react with fear." Alex smiled faintly. "That is why we must learn first. We must understand the past before we act in the present." The team continued exploring, discovering more chambers filled with symbols, machines, and holograms. Each discovery revealed more about the humans who had come before, humans who had guided the galaxy with wisdom, patience, and care. Lisa paused at a glowing console. "Look at this," she said. "It shows humans interacting with dangerous technologies. They were testing, observing, and guiding other species to safety. They were careful, thoughtful, almost like they were waiting for us to arrive." Alex nodded. "It is as if our ancestors left a path for us. They wanted us to remember, to learn, and to continue their work." Ben studied the symbols carefully. These messages, they are not just history, they are instructions. Our ancestors wanted us to follow their example. To guide, protect, and build without seeking power. Kersh looked at the humans in awe. I never imagined this. Humans, young, fragile humans, shaping the galaxy. This is beyond comprehension. Your species has been underestimated for millions of years. Alex felt a thrill of excitement. And now we know the truth. Humans are more than we ever believed. We have a legacy to uphold. The team moved to the final chamber they had discovered so far. It was the largest yet, filled with machines that glowed softly and symbols that covered every surface. In the center of the room was a large platform, surrounded by holographic displays that showed humans traveling across the galaxy, guiding and teaching other species. Lisa approached one of the machines. These devices, they are still functional. They store energy, knowledge, and maybe even life itself. Whoever built this wanted it to last for millions of years. Ben studied a hologram of a human teaching an alien species. Our ancestors, they were patient. They waited for the right time for humans to rise again. They left lessons for us, not weapons or power, but guidance. Kersh looked around in awe. This changes everything. Humans are not just young or fragile. Humans are ancient, wise, and strong. The galaxy has underestimated your kind terribly. Alex nodded. We must be careful with this knowledge. It is powerful, but it is also a gift, a chance to learn from the past and shape the future. As they left the chamber, the team realized that their discovery was only the beginning. The ruins had many more secrets, and each discovery brought new questions. But one truth was clear. Humans were not just survivors. They were builders, teachers, and guardians. And now the galaxy would have to remember them. The Velari crew, once skeptical and dismissive, walked alongside the humans in quiet awe. Their understanding of humanity had changed completely. Humans were no longer the young, inexperienced species they had assumed. They were a force shaped by history, patience, and wisdom, ancient, strong, and full of potential. Outside, the stars glittered silently. The ruins waited patiently, their secrets slowly unfolding. The Endeavor crew had only begun to understand the legacy of humans. And when the rest of the galaxy learned the truth, everything would change. Deep within the tunnels, the faint hum of machines continued. Symbols glowed, holograms flickered, and energy pulsed quietly. The ruins were alive with memory, waiting for those who could understand. The humans had found their past, and with it, a path forward. The Velari and other species would see the truth soon enough. Humans were not just part of the galaxy. They had shaped it long before anyone had known. And the galaxy, for all its stars and mysteries, would never look at humans the same way again. The news of the discovery traveled quickly, carried across the galaxy by messengers, communication networks, and fast ships. What Alex Carter, Lisa Morrow, Ben Hayes, and the Velari historian Kersh had found on that quiet moon was no ordinary ruin. It was proof that humans had once been an advanced, interstellar species, millions of years older and wiser than anyone had imagined. When the first transmissions reached the Galactic Councils, reactions were mixed. Many alien civilizations were stunned, unable to believe that humans, long considered young and inexperienced, had once guided the stars. Some were fearful, wondering what such a species could do if it chose to reclaim its former strength. Others were filled with curiosity, eager to learn from the humans' lost knowledge. Back on the moon, the Endeavor crew continued their work. Alex looked out across the ruins, the rising sun casting orange light over the cracked stone walls. "It is happening," he said quietly. "The galaxy is beginning to see the truth," Lisa nodded, "and we have a choice. We can take this knowledge and use it wisely, or we can let it be misunderstood." Ben adjusted his scanner, still studying the ancient symbols. "Our ancestors left guidance, not weapons. They were careful not to dominate, only to teach. We must follow their example." Kersh, the Velari historian, spoke slowly. "I never imagined humans could be like this. I thought your species was fragile, weak, and young. But now, the galaxy must know the truth. Humans are older, stronger, and wiser than any of us thought." The first alien delegation to visit the ruins arrived shortly after. They were cautious, but curious. Delegates from the Orvani, the Clethari, and other star systems stepped lightly into the halls, their eyes wide as they took in the glowing symbols, the intricate machinery, and the faint hum of energy that pulsed through the ruins. Alex stepped forward to greet them. "Welcome," he said. "You are seeing the work of humans who lived long before any of us. They traveled the galaxy, helped species survive, and left guidance for the future. We are only now beginning to understand them. The Orvani leader, a tall being with translucent skin that glimmered like water, spoke in a quiet voice. This changes everything. We believed humans were young, fragile, and new, but these ruins, they tell a different story. Your species was guiding the galaxy before many of ours even existed. Lisa added, we do not intend to use this knowledge to control or dominate. Our ancestors left it for guidance, not for conquest. We want to learn, understand, and share their wisdom carefully. Kersh, still in awe, added, it is difficult for some of us to accept. Humans, once thought weak, now appear ancient, capable, and wise. The galaxy must adjust to this truth. The aliens moved carefully through the ruins, scanning symbols and studying holograms that displayed humans interacting with species long forgotten. They saw humans teaching alien civilizations to survive disasters, sharing technologies, and building networks of knowledge. The aliens were silent, absorbing the truth of what they had always underestimated. Ben spoke softly, almost to himself. Our ancestors were careful. They did not seek to dominate. They left knowledge, not power. They trusted that future humans would understand it the right way. Alex nodded. And now it is our responsibility. The galaxy needs to see humans not as weak newcomers, but as a species that has always had potential beyond imagination. News of the ruins reached the galactic media networks. The story of ancient humans spread quickly, and reactions across star systems ranged from awe to fear. Some species began to reassess treaties and alliances, realizing that they had misjudged humanity for millennia. Others sent scholars, scientists, and historians to study the ruins and learn from the humans' lost wisdom. Despite the growing attention, the humans aboard the Endeavor and their Velari companions chose caution. They understood that knowledge could be dangerous if misunderstood. The focus was not power or conquest, it was understanding and guidance. Alex and Lisa led teams through deeper sections of the ruins, documenting every device, every symbol, and every holographic projection. They discovered advanced energy systems, methods to manipulate gravity, and technologies that allowed humans to survive in extreme conditions across distant worlds. Each discovery reinforced a simple truth. Humans were once builders, guides, and protectors. Ben studied one holographic projection for hours. It showed humans helping an alien civilization recover after a planetary disaster. They were patient, he said quietly. They guided others without seeking recognition or reward. They did not dominate, they protected. They taught without demanding obedience. Kersh, who had once doubted human potential, looked on with admiration. It is clear now. Humans have been underestimated for far too long. Your species is older, stronger, and wiser than we ever believed. And yet you do not seek to conquer, you only seek understanding. Alex smiled slightly. That is what makes us different. Our ancestors survived not by power but by patience and wisdom, and now we can continue their work if we choose to. Outside the ruins, alien ships hovered cautiously. News of the discovery had reached their leaders, and many feared what humans might do with such knowledge. But as delegates walked through the chambers, they saw humans guiding the exploration, explaining the symbols and showing the machines without claiming authority. There was no threat, only learning. Lisa stood near a console that projected a star map. "Look at this," she said. "Our ancestors connected worlds, guided species, and preserved life. They did not take, they gave. That is why the ruins survived. They were built for guidance, not power." Ben nodded. "We can follow their example. We do not need to reclaim weapons or authority. We can lead by wisdom, patience, and care. That is our strength." Kersh's eyes glimmered. "I have spent my life studying history and civilizations. I never imagined humans could be like this. The galaxy has misunderstood your species until now." As more delegations arrived, the Endeavor team worked tirelessly. They shared knowledge carefully, explaining the purpose of the machines, the meaning of the symbols, and the lessons of the holograms. Slowly, the galaxy began to see humans differently, not as fragile newcomers, but as a species with a long, quiet history of wisdom and guidance. One evening, as the moons of the distant planet rose over the ruins, Alex stood with Lisa and Ben, looking at the stars. "We have changed history," he said softly. "The galaxy will never see humans the same way again." Lisa nodded. "And yet we must be careful. Knowledge is powerful and not everyone will use it wisely. We need to guide others as our ancestors did. Ben smiled faintly. It is our choice. We can be like them, guardians, not conquerors, teachers, not rulers. We have the chance to honor their legacy. Kersh approached, still in awe. I have seen much in my life, but nothing like this. Humans, your kind is remarkable. The galaxy will learn, and perhaps, slowly, understand what it means to be human. In the following weeks, humans and aliens work together to preserve the ruins, document every symbol, and share knowledge carefully. Some technologies were too advanced to use immediately, but the lessons in patience, survival, and guidance were clear. Humanity's story was no longer one of weakness or inexperience. It was a story of endurance, wisdom, and care. Across the galaxy, species began to reconsider their perceptions. Humans were no longer seen as fragile newcomers. They were remembered as a species capable of shaping civilizations quietly, without force, and leaving guidance for the future. The galaxy began to understand that humans' greatest strength was not in weapons or power, but in patience, wisdom, and resilience. Alex stood once more in the central hall of the ruins, looking at the glowing symbols. He thought of the humans who had come before, the ancestors who had built, taught, and guided the galaxy. They had survived, they had waited, and they had left lessons for their descendants. Lisa joined him. We are ready now, she said softly, to continue their work. To guide, protect, and learn, not for power, but for life itself. Ben nodded. We are the inheritors of their legacy. We will honor it not by conquering, but by remembering, teaching, and protecting. Kersh observed them silently. The galaxy will remember humans now. Not as fragile, but as ancient, strong, and wise. And it is thanks to you that their story is finally known. As night fell over the moon, the ruins seemed to hum with quiet approval. The machines pulsed softly, the symbols glowed faintly, and the holograms flickered with life. The legacy of humans was alive, waiting to guide those who would follow it. For the first time, humans in the galaxy knew their true history. They understood that they were not new, fragile, or weak. They were survivors, builders, and teachers, an ancient species with a quiet but profound influence across the stars. And the galaxy, for all its stars and mysteries, began to see humans as they truly were, wise, patient, and full of potential. The Endeavor crew looked at each other, feeling a deep sense of pride and responsibility. They had uncovered the past, and now it was their turn to shape the future. The ruins had spoken. The message was clear. Humanity's greatest power was not in weapons, not in domination, and not in fear. Their greatest power was in survival, wisdom, patience, and the quiet strength to guide, teach, and protect. And so, humanity's story began again, this time remembered, respected, and ready to shape the galaxy for generations to come. The discovery of human ancestral ruins leaves aliens astonished.